Hey everyone, welcome back to the fourth episode of Lone Star Hammered. Thank you for listening. We had some technical issues this last week, and I lost about half of the recordings that I did with Nick Toomey, also known as Doots, and with Colin McDade, the runner of Clutch, which is the major that's about to happen this weekend. So, on a positive note, good news is the stuff that I was able to salvage, including the audio and half of the video, because I still don't have Nick's video. I'm going to be able to post here tonight, and it's going to cover the Clutch event, go over some of the terrain, and then also go over some of the lists that we looked at and seemed like some pretty big hitters for Clutch. So thank you guys so much for your patience. And then I want to give a real big shout out to, it looks like, Villain Von Bad Guy, the second, who was the winner of our Leagues of Votan set last week. And we will be doing another giveaway after we hit 100 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for watching the show, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Let's talk about Clutch. So I'm going to hand this over to Colin McDade. He's the guy that puts on Clutch every year. He's been doing a phenomenal job. I'm going to sit here and just toot his horn for a little bit. He's been doing a great job. The venue last year I really liked and enjoyed. Even the venue the year before that was phenomenal. The terrain, I like how it's played. I like how it looks. And yeah, Colin, you're up, man.
Thanks, Luke. So for those of y'all that don't know, I've been running Clutch City GT since 2020. It was actually initially put on back in 2015, before the ITC was really even a big thing, if not a thing, a big thing back then. And the guys that kind of got me into competitive 40K had put it on. So they kind of stepped out of the hobby closer towards COVID and since COVID. And, I just kind of talked to them. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about running a GT. Would y'all let me use the name? And they're like, yeah, go for it. So that's where the name came from, using it from the guys that kind of helped me get into competitive 40K to kind of pay homage to them. And we started off small. I think the first time it was like 40 players. And then from there we moved to a hotel. It had like 82 people. And I think the following year we went to I think about 100. It's like around 99, 101. And then last year it exploded and went up to 132. Actually, I think it was 136, but 132 at the start of round one. And now this year, we've got 158 signed up on the roster, which is, incredible.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see.
I saw 159. Is that like just a random person?
Yeah.
That didn't drop?
Someone didn't submit their list on time, so I dropped them. And I had someone who, so I dropped them. So I was like, I reached out to them. I was like, hey, are you still planning to attend because you didn't put your list in by list submittal time? And then no response. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to drop them. Because funny enough, I actually had someone pay to join the event after it was already full, like 5 minutes after lists were due. So I was like,
shit.
Okay, cool. So this works out. So I told them today, I was like, hey, this other guy hasn't put his list in. You can have his spot now. So we're good there. So we'll have an even number. And so it's going to be a good time. So for those of y'all that don't know, I also run a charity raffle along with this event. It goes to help support two charities, Autism Advocacy and which is an autism charity that's put on by Table War, who makes game mats, Table War tower cases, and a host of other items. So if you're interested in a carrying case for your army, check them out, or a mat to play on, check them out. And then another local Houston charity called the Children's Assessment Center. They go to treat and prevent child sexual abuse and help the victims and their families to get through that process. And I think it's a really great charity. When I was trying to find the charity, 97% of their donations go towards the services they provide. So it's not one of those it's not one of those big box charities where all the money's going to some CEO or administration.
Yeah, it's only like 10% goes to the actual fund.
So it's a charity that's worthwhile. It goes to the local community, so we're giving back there, and I just felt it would be a really good cause. Since in my past I've worked with both kids and adults with disabilities, and then also I helped teach kids and adults martial arts. So it kind of made sense for me to pick charities involved with autism, and then a charity that helps underprivileged kids, which just made sense to me. So and to date, we've actually raised $8,300 for these two charities, and I'm hoping this year we could pass the $10,000 mark with the raffle we have planned. So we've got a ton of cool stuff with the raffle. We've got a full size Table War case. We've got a commission painted Dark Angel army. It's about like 40 to 50 Marines painted by Marcus that runs the He-Ya GT in Colin, Texas. And
yeah, he's been sending me pictures. It looks sweet.
So not only with those models that he's painted, to go along with those, there's also a Deathwing box and the Lionel Johnson box to go with that army. So you'll have that. Yeah, and then one of the SF40K teammates, Matt Wellman, he's been painting up a Realm of Battle board for a display board. So if you're really lucky, you could walk away from Clutch with a army, a display case for it, and a display board for it.
I'm not gonna lie. Last year, and I'm gonna buy a fuck ton of tickets again this year. Last year, I think I won like 3 of them because I kept putting all my tickets in the ones nobody fucking got. But it was all, and I just like supporting the great cause. And it was funny as hell because I won like tickets to events that were happening during Clutch, kinda. And then one was another sporting event in Houston that I forget why, but I gave the tickets away or something. But it was awesome, and you put on a great event, and it's awesome to be able to play 40K and then give back to something good like that. So man, good job for putting that all on, man. And there's going to be links as well. So anybody listening right now, please go to these links if you would like to buy the tickets. I know that you ship stuff as well if they win, correct? Yeah. That's what you did last year.
If you're not present and like you want to donate, because I talk about the charity on War Games Live, and we'll allow people to donate virtually, and we'll ship all the prizes. Someone got mad that I was like, we wouldn't ship or whatever, but I don't know where that came from. But what I told everyone last year at the event was like, I will ship these to you unless you win the alcohol package, because I'm not going to ship that. So I think someone got miscommunicated on that. But all the other prizes I'll ship. I've got the list of all the different prizes we have online. We have a spreadsheet where we'll say, hey, so and so bought this many tickets and they're numbered 1 to whatever, and we put them in the box along with all the other tickets. Which not only do we have the raffle this year, but we also have. I just want to shout it out because I'm really excited about the 40K bingo, which is like another side event that you could play. In the event. So basically, I know everyone knows what bingo is.
I forgot about the bingo.
So not only in the raffle, but in the bingo game, you can win either a combat patrol box of your choice, a Table War, I think it's half size case, and then also someone dropped and was like, hey, I'd like to donate my ticket to the event. So I was like, okay, cool. So now you can also win a ticket to Clutch City GT 2025 in the bingo. In the bingo game. Yeah. So basically, but how it works is that instead of like, a caller like saying, oh, hey, 79, and then, oh, I got on my bingo card, it's you have your bingo board and there's different scenarios on each of the bingo squares. And so you have to have that happen in the game in order to get that bingo square. And then your opponent signs off and it says, Lou got this bingo square. And then if you get all the right scenarios in a row, column, or diagonal, you can win a prize.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. I like it.
It's too bad there's no psychic phase anymore, because I would 100% be checking out perils on the first roll.
Yeah.
So I did add in a what was it? Failing a battle shock test on like double ones. I added that in as one of the scenarios. We actually have like 50 plus different bingo squares, like individual bingo squares, and then I think I'm going to print off like 250 different bingo cards. So there'll be a lot of different bingo cards that you can do.
Holy shit.
Well, people were like, "Oh man, this sounds amazing! Like, cool. I'll buy like 5," and I was like, "Wow, I was only thinking about making 30. Maybe I should make more."
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, hell yeah. I mean, it sounds. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. It's a couple days away, so I'm pretty excited
too.
All right. So
it's happening.
Hell yeah. Now, Clutch is a great event every year. So, speaking about Clutch, let's get into this a little bit. We're going to talk about some of the lists. Like I have said, these people haven't played or anything like that. And we're going to talk about a little bit of what to expect with the terrain and everything with the player pack and stuff like that. So, we're going to start with good old Robert Moreland. All right. So, I went through the list, picked out some heavy hitters from before, made sure that they all were running different armies, and that they were all relatively a part of different teams. Justin Moore and Kit Smith, you guys are on the same team. Congratulations, Tundra Tactics. You guys just get two really good players. So first one's going to be Robert Moreland. He is with Big D Energy, I think is what it is, right? Big D? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's running the list is titled the Wienermobile. It's a Death Corps Marshal. Gaunt's Ghost, which is kind of that auto take. We've talked about it before. Lord Solar. The Platoon Command Squad to make Lord Solar better. A Primaris Psyker and Ursula Creed. He's rocking 2 different Death Corps of Krieg squads, just 10-mans, and a Chimera. And then we're going to get into 1 small Bulgrin, followed by 2 large Bulgrin squads. When I say large, I mean 6-man squads. And for those of you listening, if you don't know what Bulgrin do, that make them fucking amazing. They are defensively phenomenal. They have a 6-up feel no pain, and the way that he's running them, they're also going to have a 4-up invul, and they are damage reduction as well. So they -1 any incoming damage. It makes those squads very hard to take off objectives. They also smack a little bit. They're not the greatest. They're not the worst though. Then we have a Hellhound. I know playing against Robert, he loves using these to fire Overwatch because they're fucking money. And then we have a Lehman Russ Exterminator. So this is going to be the damage 3 main gun. It's that upgraded autocannon. And it improves AP of other units. So whatever that shoots, the other units that shoot over there are going to get additional AP. On top of that, we have a Lehman Russ Punisher, which is that 20-shot gun. And if it shoots at anything that isn't a monster or vehicle, it's going to do dev wounds. And we have a Rogaldorn and a Scion Squad just to get some objectives. Same with a Calidus. Lot of stuff in this list, but it's kind of that like similar-ish Imperial Guard list that we like to see a lot, except for those 2 variants on the Lehman Russes. What are your guys' thoughts?
So one thing to point out,
I think this
I was going to say one thing to point out that I thought was really interesting. One of those Death Corps Krieg squads is actually a 20-man squad. Yeah.
Oh, is it? I missed that. Am I
yeah, it's a big one, which is interesting.
Fuck, it is. Yeah, it's 130 points. My bad. That is interesting. Honestly, maybe he was tired of Lord Solar getting fucking smacked or something. Like, he was like, fuck this. I bring him with a 10-man. Like, I'm tired of this shit getting indirect, and he brought a 20-man.
You know, that unit, like, just doesn't die.
The Death Corps.
Especially because you've got, after the data set, you got stacking orders now.
Yep.
As long as they're different. You got the 5-up Feel of Pain. It's 20 models, and I'm sure this is going to be the one that's going to be connected to the Platoon Command Squad and the Leonis unit. So once they die, it's okay. Just bring it back. Not a big deal. And the cool thing I love about Rob's lists is Rob has a tool for everything.
Yeah.
If you look at this list, that like almost every single unit is different. He's got the Bulgrin, he's got the Hellhound. That 2-up save too on the Hellhound is actually wild. He's got the Scions, he's got the Calidus, he's got a Rogaldorn just to, get the output going. No indirect. He's just going to kill you in the face.
Yeah.
But it takes, you're up against a good player when he's got a bunch of different units and they all serve a very specific purpose. I'm excited. I think Rob is going to do well with this list.
Yeah, each one of those Lehman Russes is kitted out for, one's kitted out for Custodes, one's kitted out for Drakari.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. For people that don't know, the Bulgrin versus like things like World Eaters, the Bulgrin win that combat versus like the equivalent size World Eater unit, which is mind-boggling to me. But after like Robert and I did the math, I was like, wow, you're right. That's crazy to me that Bulgrin beat out like 8-bound in combat.
No, the 8-bound have to spike insanely high because of just the durability of the Bulgrin. So, well, hell, fucking, I'm really gonna love to see this list, Rob. And any of the Astra Militarum players, hey, he's the guy that's gonna have the target on his back. So, try and knock him down, All right, so our next one is going to be Sam Cook. So he's been playing Drakari for the last couple weeks at all these RTTs we've been talking about. He's taken home a couple wins, and he's switching it up to the Teleport is the name of his list for Clutch, and it's going to be Necrons. He's playing Hypercrypt.
Oh, interesting.
Looking at this list, We talked a little bit about this, myself and Nick, before Colin got on. We've got some Satan shards. Surprise! We're having Necrons with Satans. So he has a Deceiver. He's got a Nightbringer. He's got a Void Dragon. He has a Hexmark Destroyer with the Dimensional Overseer. For you guys that don't know, that's the one that lets him put another unit into reserves with the Hypercrypt. So instead of 3, it's going to be 4. We have another Hexmark Destroyer, and then another one. So that's 3 Destroyers. They all have loan out. They're all just going to be probably jumping around doing stupid shit. And then we have 2 Transcendent Satans. So that's 5 Satans in this list. That is a fuck ton. That's a huge stat check. That says, hey, if you're not able to deal with this, I'm going to let my other units like score points and shit like that, and I'm going to ram this down your face, like, and you're going to enjoy it. And then we have a Deathmark Squad, a Deathmark Squad, a Deathmark Squad. So kind of he went with those cheap jump around units. They can still pick off characters if they need to, just to fuck with your opponent. And then 1, 2, 3, just single Locust Destroyers. Those are super good at just being jumped around or just hanging out and doing actions and jumping on objectives. And then 2 squads of Tomb Blades. So once again, just sitting on objectives, doing actions, while the 5 Satans just run through armies. What are our thoughts on this?
I mean, you basically hit all the points. I mean, 5 Satan, a lot of armies aren't going to get through 2 of those, let alone 5.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just followed up by a bunch of trash that can score objectives efficiently. So there's no, like, you can't exactly, and it's Hypercrypt, so you can't exactly just, kill all their trash first. You know, they're going to get the score before they get killed.
What do you feel like this, or maybe I'll ask Colin, since you're a Necrons guy. What do you think this weakness is? What do you think the army that's going to be the hardest for this matchup?
Other lists that are decently fast. If they can get to the trash and kill the trash real quickly, well, now you're having to have your almost 300-point models stand on objectives, and when the Satan have to stand on objectives, it's not good for the Necron player. And the only thing I wish, I don't know, it's a personal choice, I guess, but I'm honestly not a big fan of the Deceiver. He doesn't really have shooting, and his melee is not even, in my opinion, it's not even arguable, the worst melee of any Satan melee profile. And like his ability is like, it's cool, but you know, when you're playing Hypercrypt, you're jumping around so many units already. I mean, you could just drop the Dimensional Overseer, which I think is like, okay, you could take it, but you don't have to. And then you could, that's the extra 10 points. You could just have a 3rd Transcendent Satan.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Deceiver just because he's bringing max Satans. Like, he's committing into this one thing. I honestly think he might suffer into a unit that, or an army even, that ignores any wound modification. He's going to fucking, I think, hit a brick wall. But it's one of those stat check lists, and like, he's a very good player, so I think he's going to go really far with this.
I'm sure he'll do well.
Yeah, I think the like the Tyranid and some of the Tau and some of the other Horde lists out there could potentially really be a problem for this list. Super fast armies like Drukhari.
Yep.
You know, hyperphase is great when you can hyperphase towards an objective or close to one. If you can't, all of a sudden it's like a huge liability.
I think Demons 2 is another interesting matchup for this one as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, Sam.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, with all the stuff that can ignore damage modifiers now, I mean, even Death Guard, you know, could be interesting, and seeing how fast they can take down the Satan, and then you know, those Thunderwolf cavalry lists out there. If they get the charge on the Satan, even though they half damage, they're still getting 2 damage on all their weapons when they charge in, and you know, fail 6 saves, that's a dead Satan. Potentially, if they fail it. Yeah. If they fail their Fin of Pains.
And the Death Guard lists, right now too, are running those like double Predators. And if they're next to Morty, they're just fucking nuking Satans. It's not even funny. So
Repentia, Arcos.
Yep.
Ball.
Yeah.
Ball will pick up 2 Satans at a turn if you let her.
Bet.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Well, good luck, Sam. I'm excited to see that list played. Next one we have Kit. Another really good player, always performs super well. He's done really well at a lot of events here in Texas. And he is a part of Tundra Tactics. So he is going to be running his Unkindness of Ravens. So it's a Dark Angels Iron Storm Spearhead. So that's, for anybody that doesn't know what Iron Storm does, it's that reroll hit and wound and damage. But let's go into what he's got. So he's got Azrael, gives whatever he's attached to, sustained hits, gains a CP. Honestly, Azrael doesn't get attached to fucking shit. Azrael just sits in his backfield and gives him CP. And if you have the indirect to deal with Azrael, Kit's already going to lose anyways. It's really what Azrael does. The next one is going to be that Ravenwing Talonmaster. Do you think he's going to attach it? We'll go through the list and we'll see if you think he's going to attach him anywhere. I don't fucking think he does.
I mean, I don't know about the attachment, but I don't know about the indirect statement. But anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Move on.
The Talonmaster. So that one he's going to be able to... he's got the Masters of Machine Wars, so he's got an aura 6 inches. Anything in that aura can shoot, or they can shoot if they advance or fall back, which is really fucking strong with how he built this list. We have a Tech Marine with that target auger web that gives it out the lethal hits. We've got another Tech Marine with Adept of the Omnissiah, so it can change once per turn, change damage to 0 when it goes through a vehicle after it fails a save. We have Company Heroes. We have a Dark Shroud, which gives out another bubble. So he's just sitting in bubbles. He's obviously like moving up his army in a bubble, just aggressively going after most of the board. But that Dark Shroud gives stealth and cover. So you're basically ignoring any sort of like smoke screen or anything. Or like you don't need to spend the CP to do it. Then we have 1, 2, 3 Redemptors, all with plasma. Just sitting there, just shooting the fuck out of shit. 1 Scout Squad, a Storm Speed or Thunderstrike. This is going to give an extra bonus to monsters or vehicles to wound if it hits it, and it's the one that has the last talon. 2 Storm Raven gunships, and I'm really hoping this says Calidus at the end. And it says, Henchmen. I'm cool with Henchmen too. And a squad of Henchmen. A lot of beefiness in this list. This is another stat check list, but it's really fucking good, and Kit is a very good player. So what are your guys' thoughts on what he's got?
So if you guys haven't seen this style of list before, the Double Storm Raven Dark Angels, it is absolutely brutal to play against. The speed and the amount of firepower that can come at you is ridiculous.
Yep.
Like if you're relying on indirect in your backfield, it will get shot immediately. That's how fast this list is. And it's, you've got a huge amount of stacking buffs, which means that these Storm Ravens are just not going to die. They're going to be -1 to hit. They're going to be flanking saves. They're going to have armor contempt. And the output they put out is they have Oath. They have Mercy's Weakness. They have, Twin Linked on the Hurricane Bolters on the Storm Ravens. Like, it is just brutal to play against this list. The one weakness of this list is scoring, and even then, he's got a ton of like little character units, Dark Shrouds, fast little Talon Master units that can go off and do work.
No, you can still jump those around pretty easily.
Yeah, but cool list. He's been running it for a while, and he's been absolutely shredding. So I'm excited to see how he does.
Yeah, I think Kit's got a really good shot to do very, very well at this event.
Yeah.
Colin,
well,
any thoughts?
I'm disappointed in the name. I mean, the list should obviously be called the Bubble Boy list. Yeah,
The Bubble Boy list. I love it.
I like it. Cool. Well, hey, good luck,
the
Kit.
name game.
Yeah, good luck, Kit. Like Nick said, you've been doing really well at this list, and you're my vote to win the event. So good luck, man. Don't let me down. All right. Next one we have Christian Alisi. So he's going to be running AdMech. The number that he or the name that he chose for this was just 40, which I think is bullshit because it's not 40. So he's running the Hunter cohort, which gives them cover outside of 12 inches. Makes his units a lot more durable, especially on that first-ish turn. He has 3 marshals, 2 of which have enhancements. One has the Battlesphere uplink, which they can move after shooting, so that unit is able to just do a little jump after they shoot as long as they're not in combat. And then the Veiled Hunter, which gives them 3 redeploys pre-game. After that, we're going to just run through this really quick because it's all the same shit. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Vanguard squads. Fucking A, bro. That's so many bodies. Big thing about Vanguard is that they make you -1 OC to no limit. So they will make your units 0. So watch out for that. On top of that, we're going to have a Dune Rider. 2 of them, 2 Scorpus Dune Riders. And then we have 1, 2 squads of Skystalkers. Just 5-mans. He was kind on that one. And then 1, 2, I think 3. We'll get to 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Sterilizers. That's just an absolute fuck ton of them. The amount, like, I just don't understand how you put that on the board, my dude. Like, there's so many little wings. Like, that's crazy.
It's a flex in a lot of ways.
Dude, it is, because this army is not cheap. And Christian's a really good painter. He has an Imperial Guard that is painted as, what is it, NATO or some shit like that. Or no, it's the UN. It's the UN is what it's painted as. And it looks phenomenal. So I'm really excited to see how this is painted up. Then we have 1 Infiltrator squad. Obviously there to maybe do some stuff, sit on an objective, or just move block your opponent because you don't want them to do things like scout when you have fucking like 135 bodies on the board. And then 1, 2, 3 Dragoon squads, each with 3 each. So 9 Chicken Walkers with the Taser Lancers still. And then an Inquisitor Draxus. Man, this is so many bodies. I've played against the list very similar to this, against another really good player, and I almost lost. Not because I wasn't deleting units, but because I was not able to keep up with his scoring a little bit. So that's what that list is designed for. You guys got any thoughts on this one?
Hope you brought melee, because it's all stealth and it's all got cover.
Yeah. Good luck shooting it.
Yeah, and
I think
the
MO
MO of
Custodes,
the list is to say you don't get to score primaries this game.
Yeah, I think if Custodes can get to it, they'll maybe like kill 1 to 2 squads a turn, but that's not enough because they're just like, hey, you don't have OC.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the Custodes player honestly should probably just like I have spears to shoot. Well, doesn't matter. Just run forward as fast as possible. Hope you get to the objectives and do as much damage as you can. Again.
Yep.
Man. Terrible list name. I mean, he said 40. He was two away from 42. I mean, if he had just called it 42, that would have been way better than 40. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would have. No, I'm really excited to see this list. It scores so well. Like, I really want to see Christian's list play up against Kit, to see if it can like withstand the speed and destructive power of Kit's list. So, hey, good luck, Christian.
See it on the table.
Yeah,
it'll look good too.
It's so many bodies.
Yeah. Yep. So, hey, good luck, Christian. I'm excited to see you there, man. The next one is going to be Brandon Smith. So this is our Custodes list that we're looking at. A lot of Custodes lists, they have a lot of the same cores. His I decided to look at because it's a smidge different. So we have Custodes. He called it Meaty Men. Love the name. It's pretty suited. We have a Blade Champion with Ceaseless Hunter. This is the fallback shoot and charge. Still really good. A Blade Champion by himself. And then Trajan with a Custodian Guard squad. So this is a 5-man squad. The Prosecutors. And then 1, 2 2-man Custodians. Sorry, they're all Custodes. Alaris Terminators. So I think that he brought those just on the off chance you want to take fixed, or you just have dudes to deep strike and do actions and get in your enemy's backfield. 1 Grav Tank. And then 1, 2, 3 Warden squads. So I like the 3 Wardens. I like the Grav Tank. I like where this list is going. A lot of the Custodes lists look exactly the same-ish like this. They're all running a lot of Wardens or no Grav Tank and more Alaris. On top of that, we have Draxus and no Calidus. That's the one thing I saw on this one. I want to see how you play tested that and see where your thought process was on bringing Draxus over finding the points for that Calidus to be able to jump around and do stuff. What are your guys' thoughts?
I almost wonder if this is a fixed objective list.
It looks like it to me. Yeah.
You just go deploy, you go cleanse, and say, "Come at me, bro." You know?
Yeah. I'm curious.
Triple Warden, and he took the 1 Grav Tank. Interesting. Kind of played a middle ground there.
Yeah, the 1 Grav Tank is interesting because you're gonna have to really hope for some good luck to have that damage really go through and kill anything with that 1 tank and in a turn, and then it's interesting because he has the 3. I guess he's putting. I don't know if he's putting Draxus. I'm guessing Draxus is going with the regular Custodian Guard squad, and then the 2 Blade Champs and Trajan are going with all the Wardens. Would be my guess.
I actually looking at this grav tank. I don't think it's the high damage.
Oh, did he take the other anti-infantry gun?
He took the Iliastus.
Yep, he took the Twin Link, the 3 damage Twin Link gun.
Oh, so
I think he's going
he's
anti.
he's going in the mirror match and hoping to yeah, that makes sense. I mean, and even then, it's not bad into it's actually not terrible into the Wraiths and some of the other stuff out there, like 8-bound and all the other things.
If you're running just one, I actually like this over the heavy blaze cannons.
I agree with you there. And then and it's Twin Link, so it's not terrible into vehicles, and it's a tan too.
Yeah. No, hey, well. Oh, sorry, man. Brandon Smith, man. Hey, good luck. I'll see you there. I'm gonna each one of you guys that I called on, I'm gonna go give you guys some stickers, or I'll send Aaron Kelman to give you stickers. He loves putting stickers.
Oh,
on
and
people. All right, hey.
Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of Brandon, he also donated some prizes to the charity raffle. So thank you, Brandon, for doing that.
Oh yeah,
cool.
they're the Table Talk guys, right? Or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Talk
Table Talk
Table
from the Ed Game Store in Houston. Yeah.
Hell yeah, cool. Well, thank you guys for supporting his event. And then the last one we've got Justin Moore. So Justin, he's a heavy hitter Texan. Once again, we see him at a lot of events. He won, was it the Texas Open recently, and he is running Tau. So man, I love seeing some Tau. I just played.
Right now.
I just played against it, and I was like, holy fuck, Tau kind of slaps right now. And he's playing the list that I think is going to do really good. So he's playing Shadow Sun. For anybody that doesn't know, she's got Lone Op. She gives out a bubble for rerolling ones to hit with Tau. That's fucking insanely good, especially because I know where she's going to sit her little fucking bubble on. And it's right next to Long Strike. Long Strike with a railgun. So just putting out a one-shot fuck ton of damage gun with possible explodes once they actually hit into that Kalyan. Cadre Fireblade with the Exemplar of Kalyan. That gives them the sustained hits going on to round 2. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 Breacher teams. That's just obviously there to score some points. And also Breachers don't fuck around. They can get out and they can put out a lot of shots and really surprise opponents on what they do. We have a Pathfinder team that's going to be there for more than likely just guiding a bunch of shit and obviously moving a little bit forward and sitting on some of those objectives while his backfield just absolutely hammers shit. Then we're going to have 1, 2, am I missing it? 3, there we go, 3 Hammerhead gunships. So they're always going to be +1 a hit on monsters or vehicles with a reroll of a hit wound or a hit or a wound roll. That can be really fucking good when you only have one shot and you're already getting reroll ones probably anyways from being next to Shadow Sun. That it's going to start to stack and be really good. And then he has 1, 2, 3 Riptides. Man, Riptides are that sleeper unit right now. They got buffed in the data slate. Their main gun is overcharged always pretty much. And anytime that they Nova, they're also going to do Dev Wounds. But it's 6 shots, strength 8, -3, 4 damage. That's just deleting a lot of units in the meta. Even Satans aren't going to be able to stand up to this because it just halves it to 2. On top of the plasma rifles, missile drones, and missile pods that it has anyways. He's got 2 Tetras, which when they guide, they give reroll to hits. And then 1, 2, 3 Devilfish. 4 Devilfish. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 Devilfish. Holy shit, I like the 4 Devilfish, actually. 4 Devilfish to put all of his units in. He's putting the 2 Breachers, and he's putting that Pathfinder squad in there. That's fucking money. He's going to have so much scoring just running up the board while his backfield is just hammering targets. What are your guys' thoughts? What are we thinking?
So,
this list is like purpose built to just slay Custodes.
So,
yep,
I wasn't even gonna say Custodes. It's funny. I actually think he kind of built this list in mind to beat Kit's list. Actually, yeah,
he could have.
I was thinking that.
It does. That list plays really well into Kit's list.
One too many practice games against the old Storm.
Because you have the 4 hammerheads. It's like cool. You blank the first one for the hammerhead. Okay, I failed the second one. Well, you still have 2 more that you have to deal with the Storm Raven. And then, oh, by the way, if I didn't kill you somehow, I still have the Riptides to finish off your Storm Raven. So now you're only getting one Redemptor in my face, and then even if you move up, okay, I kill that one the next turn. And I think that I think his list just slowly dismantles Kit's list, and then like he has enough.
I think it does that to a lot of lists, though. I think that his list is just very destructive.
Are super good.
Yep.
Because you're ignoring hit roll modifiers, and when you're overcharging to 4 damage, you don't care about -1 damage anymore.
Not at all.
Like, you just don't care.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of crazy how much he can fit in this list. Like, like 4 Hammerheads, okay, yeah, makes sense. And then 3 Riptides on top of that, okay, makes sense. And he still has 4 Devilfishes and 4 squads of guys inside. That's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah. He took the things in Tau that didn't get nerfed, and they honestly work really well into the meta right now. I think it's wonderful. I think Justin's going to do really well as well at Clutch. So we'll see if he beats Kit. Maybe they'll play in the last round.
Play one more.
Yeah, knock each other out. Unfortunately. All right. Well, hey, honestly, Justin's list too is a really good segue into your terrain and how stuff is set up. If any of the players that are listening to this haven't looked at their player packets, please fucking do. I've gotten the opportunity to play with his terrain. Got it from Rexer's Lasers, and I'll do some more shout-outs because he's who makes all of your terrain.
Yeah,
Colin?
and he pretty much makes everyone's terrain in Texas at this point, other than FLG.
There's a couple events that he doesn't, but he does pretty much everybody.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he does do everyone's events. I mean, even like the small events up in Dallas, like James Miller's events, like he did the terrain for for him. I'm pretty sure he did the terrain for that, and even the War Dome, like I think the organizer designed the terrain himself, but he's still having Joey and Rexer's Lasers cut it for him.
Possibly. For what?
Well, I know for a fact.
I think that's the only. I think that's the only one. I've talked to him.
Well, that's not what I'm doing, but yeah.
No, you're good. And hey, shout out again to Joey. But let's talk about this terrain. Hey, read your guys' player fucking packets, dead ass, because you are getting about the rounds are 245, right? Okay, so that's about 15 minutes to set up your tables. The measurements are very easy if you know what you're doing. So if you haven't gotten your practice games in on this terrain, it might be a little hard that first couple terrain setups that you actually do, just because the amount of terrain that's there, which is not a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing, but take the time to actually set up your boards, please, guys. And with that being said, let's talk about terrain. It looks open as fuck. It does. I was looking at it. I was like, man, Colin fucked up. This is going to be a bowling ball. It is not. 100% it is not. Man, that shit is... I really like how you designed it. Good job. The firing lanes work really well to not only provide shooting, but also deter shooting. To give a lot of armies a really good shot. I do think that Custodes are going to have a really good run at it at this event, because the terrain is set up to hide the fucking shit out of them if they really want to. So really like the terrain. After playing on it, be careful with anybody that this is their first time playing on this terrain. Make sure that you look at it objectively, knowing that you don't have as much shooting as you think that you actually do. But besides that, Colin, you did a fantastic job, man. I'm so excited to play at Clutch. Let's close this shit out. So, hey, I'm going to close it out. I'm going to give once again my shout out to Rexer's Lasers. So, Joey, this is to you again. Hey, there's going to be a link. Please go and buy all of his terrain. Any game stuff that he has this weekend, he's going to have a booth. He always has a booth at most of the events. Get the stuff that you need for the next upcoming events, whether that's terrain, whether that's objective markers, whether that's gaming aids or whatever it is. Rexer's Lasers does a fantastic job. And like Colin said, he makes pretty much all the terrain for Texas. And I know he's branching out. So with that being said, like if you want to prepare for the next events, if you want to set up for Alamo, if you want to set up for Warzone Houston or whatever is going to come next, you're going to need the terrain from Rexer.
Yeah.
On top of that,
I was going to say, I mean, he even has the license to do WTC terrain now too.
He does, and he makes a pretty good WTC set as well. On top of that, since Clutch is this weekend, Colin's already sold out. He sold way too many tickets. I'm pretty sure he still has a wait list. I'm going to give out some other shout-outs to, once again, to War Dome Houston. Please use the promo code HAMMERED. If you buy your ticket, go buy your tickets, guys. This is the first year event. I've said it a couple different times. First year events normally try to go a little bit more grandiose just to draw everybody's attention in and get them committed to these events for the next upcoming years. After that, we have Alamo, which is that San Antonio one that David hosts, and he does a really good job there. He's been really working with that terrain. He's even cut some of the Alamos in half. Because I know that the previous years, he's made some terrain changes where it's going to be a lot easier to play into with how terrain works this edition. So buy your tickets for that. It's going to be at the Hyatt again this year, which is going to be an absolute blast. You can bring your whole family. It's going to be a good time. And then I don't have any other events that are ready to sell tickets yet. Once I do, I'll let you guys know. With that being said, though, hey, thank you, Nick, again for being on. Thank you, Colin. Go around the room. Any Nick, you got any shout-outs, call-outs you need to do? Love mom and dad. Bye, guys.
I'm just super stoked for Clutch, man.
Yeah.
Colin, always a great time.
Hell yeah.
And you can tell by the terrain and just the organization that you care about competitive players. So I am stoked. I cannot wait.
Thank you guys. That means a lot. And for those of y'all that don't know what terrain I'm using, so I have two distinct styles. One is based off the UKTC terrain, so all the big super majors that happen every month in the UK, it's their terrain set with their layouts. And then my other terrain set is my own design. And then to kind of update it for 10th edition, I've cut the U's in half, and to kind of help that terrain go further. And then I've kind of used them to make a pseudo GW open style layout with some adjustments to how you interact with the terrain and make it a little more player friendly.
Hell yeah. Dude, we're excited, man.
Yep.
I think this weekend's going to be awesome. Well, thank you guys, and thank you everybody for listening. If you liked everything, please... Oh, yeah, hey, last thing. I'm not doing a free thing this week. I want to hit 100 subscribers before I do my next one. So please subscribe, like, and comment, and then we'll start giving out some more free stuff. It'll probably be next week. Thank you guys all for listening, and see you guys later.
Deuces.